Welcome back into the Fantrax Toolshed YouTube channel. Eric Cross with you here, going to be discussing my top 25 Dynasty Catcher rankings. But before I do, hit that subscribe button below to check out all the other great video we have on the channel. This is a very fun position to talk about, to write about, to rank. A lot of fun, young, rising talent at this position. Starting right at number 25, you'll see in this first slide here, Edgar Quero. Youngest name on the list, still only 19 years old, coming off a very good year in low A. Has the offensive skills to move well up this list in 2023 and beyond. Just so many good names ahead of him, but definitely a name to target, to monitor. He's on the rise for sure. Kevin Parada can hit for average, can get on base, can hit for power. Fun duo there for the Mets with him and Alvarez. And same thing with the Angels with Cuero and Ohapi, who we'll get into here in a little bit. Parada might not have might not be the sexy name, but very good all-around profile that can stick a catcher long term. Cal Raleigh, fully admit that I'm probably a bit low on Raleigh, coming off the great power year where he had 27 home runs in 415 plate appearances with a 278 ISO, 489 slug, and 15.4% barrel rate. However, K rate is above 30% for his career. Whiff rate's way too high. Contact rates are not good. I just wonder how sustainable this profile is long term. You know, the low average, low contact, high power type. Kind of reminds me of Zunino. I'm not saying that's a direct comp, but it's just hard to maintain this profile. So I want to see him hit for a bit more average before I move him up my rankings here. Davis, Diaz, 22 and 21, both kind of similar profiles overall. Solid average, solid power. Don't really stand out in either department, but two good bats. I just wonder with Diaz at least, where does he fit in with Houston? They don't seem really committed to him yet at the catcher spot. They might be looking to bring in a outside catcher before the offseason is over. But in general, I like both of these bats. Into the top 20 now. Diego Cartaya for the Dodgers. Again, where does he fit with Will Smith being there? But the bat with Cartaya is very good. He's shown he can hit for a solid average, get on base at a high clip, and has plus or better raw power that he's already started to flex more and more in games. Moreno at 19, on the other hand, hasn't really flexed that power. He has, at least I think maybe around average raw power, but once he got into the upper minors, the game power has really lagged behind. Can hit for a great average, obviously. Could be a 300 hitter or close to it. But I want to see him hit for more average, more power moving forward averages there. Tyler Soderstrom, he's one that could tick down a little bit. The power is a 30 home run bat in a neutral park, I think, but he's going to be in Oakland, which is not a neutral park, and don't really have a lot of confidence in Oakland's player development for hitters. We've seen a lot of their top hitting prospects fizzle out, especially due to approach. Soderstrom is already trending the wrong way. It's not a huge issue yet, but I just wonder if he's just more of like a 250-ish hitter that gets limited in the power department because of that park. Probably moves the first base long term with Langoliers there, but I don't know. I'm just wondering if he's just more of a corner infield type than someone that you could be penciling in as your starting first baseman down the road. Austin Wells, on the other hand, love Austin Wells. He's a guy that definitely should shoot up this list. Not 100% certain he sticks a catcher long term. I think he does initially here. There's not really any, great name in his way in New York or nobody else in the system. So Wells is one that the offensive profile would make him stand out at this position. He's got solid hit tool, good lefty power in Yankee Stadium. Obviously, a great combination there, and he can add some speed as well. So Wells should move up this list. Bo Naylor, another power speed blend there, high OBP type, but similar to Diaz, Cleveland hasn't really shown they're quite ready to commit to him as the everyday catcher. We'll see, but the offensive profile with Naylor definitely is fun. Logan Ohapi can hit for a solid average, high OBP, great approach, good power. This guy going to be like a 270-ish hitter with a high OBP and 20 to 25 home runs annually. I think he's very underrated still, even after his great 2022 season, and should be the starting catcher for the Angels in 2023 and beyond. Harry Ford is the second youngest name on this list, only behind Edgar Quero, still only 19 years old there. He'll be 20 before opening day in 2023. Another name that might move out from behind the position, but the offensive profile is one of the highest at this position currently, given his blend of hit tool, power, speed, projection. It's all there. Very fun offensive profile. So could move up the list in 2023. Tower Stevenson, we've seen what he can do offensively in short spurts, and he's in a great home park. Just needs to stay healthy. That's the big thing with him. So hopefully we can see that in 2023. Sean Murphy finally out of Oakland. He's shown that he's a much better hitter outside of Oakland. I mean, no surprise there. Obviously, with that park, moves into a very good lineup in Atlanta. Obviously, much better than they were going to trot up there in Oakland. Nice bump there. Should be a top 10 catcher moving forward until some of the younger names kind of maybe overpass him. We'll see. Obviously, never a guarantee, but he's got the skills to be a back end starting caliber fantasy catcher for a next, several years at least. MJ Melendez is one that I think could get a nice boost, be one of the bigger beneficiaries from the shift ban because he was shifted on a lot last year, and the BABIP, against the shift and against non-shifts was pretty vast with him. So I think he could be in store for a nice bump in value here in 2023. And I think that Kansas City lineup's going to be sneaky good, especially if him and Witt and others take that step forward this year. Getting into the top 10 now, Andy Rodriguez, Francisco Alvarez at 10 and 9. You'll notice that they were flip-flopped in my prospect rankings, but Alvarez is up sooner, probably beats Andy, for playing time by about half a year. Pittsburgh doesn't really push their prospects. Plus, they just brought in Austin Hedges for some odd reason. But, long term, there's not really a big difference between these two. I do prefer Endy just on pure offensive talent by a slight margin, but Alvarez's proximity gives him the nod here. Sal Perez at 8. He's a little bit older, obviously. I think he's like 32 now, but he's proven outside of the 1 year he missed with the knee injury that he is one of the more consistently top-notch caliber offensive catchers in the game. Can hit for, 260-ish with a bunch of home runs. I don't think that changes, at least for the next few years. So for now, he sticks in the top 10. But obviously, moving forward, he probably moves down as opposed to move up. 7-6, we got the Contreras brothers, both on new teams here in 2023. William down with Milwaukee. Wilson now with St. Louis. I did a video here on this channel a handful of days ago on William Contreras, so check that out. Obviously, I love the bat moving forward. I think he could be top 5 at this position by the end of 2023 or even sooner than that. And Wilson, kind of like Sal Perez, has just consistently been that guy, been like a top 5-ish caliber backstop. He's going to be in a good St. Louis lineup. So I don't think anything really changes with him. Maybe, a slight tick up in value with the better lineup around him. But I don't think the skills are going anywhere anytime soon. He's a very good offensive catcher and should be for the next at least handful of years as he gets closer to 30 years old. Still a top 5-ish option at the position. Getting into the top 5 now, though. Alejandro Kirk, my little bowling ball. The dude can just hit, and there's more power upside there. He's basically, maybe not quite the average hitter Moreno is, but very close. I think Kirk's 280, 290 guy that could hit 15 to 20 home runs. I still think he's very underrated too, just given the fact that he hasn't really put up those huge power numbers yet. And I don't think he's gonna be like a 25 to 30 homer guy, but 280 with close to 20 home runs annually, plus some solid runs and RBI totals and a good Toronto lineup, that'll get him top 5 at this position more often than not. JT Realmuto right now is still my number 1 catcher for 2023, especially given the power speed he showed in 2022, but he's older than the top 3 by, I think the next oldest is still about 4.5 to 5 years younger than him. So just because of the age, that puts him down to 4, but still firmly in tier 1 in a very good lineup in a very good park. So don't expect Realmuto to fall off a cliff anytime soon. Will Smith, probably the safest of this top 5, I'd say. Is kind of settled in as like a 260-ish hitter, 25 home runs, solid counting stats in the Dodgers lineup, of course, and a good OBP as well. So, he might be, a little more boring, but he is a top 5 catcher year in, year out. Don't see that changing anytime soon. Dalton Varsho is kind of the X factor, the wild card out of this top 5, coming off a 27 homer, 16 steal season. Average was a bit lower in the 230s. Do think that can tick up given what he showed in the minor leagues. But does he stick at catcher? How long does that happen? He didn't play at catcher for really the final half of the season or so, but they got rid of Cooper Hummel. He's probably going to move off, but I don't think that's a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. So for now, I'll leave him here, but he probably does leave this position at some point. It's not sure if it's in 2023, 2024. We'll see how Arizona wants to handle that. And at number 1, Adley Rutschman, just the combination of offensive skills, age, projection. He's number 1 here. He's going to stick at this position long term. He's a very good defensive catcher as well. Got a good hit 280 or above, 370 plus OBP type, 25 to 30 home runs, maybe even over 30 some years. I think Baltimore's lineup is going to be pretty damn good. It's on the rise. It already is a pretty fun lineup. Then they'll be adding a full year of Gunner, and they got more good prospects in the upper minors ready to kind of jump in later this year or in 2024. So overall, he's going to be a 4-category stud for a long time and still very young, only getting into his mid-20s now. So I think he's going to be, this number 1 guy or a top 3 option year in, year out for the foreseeable future. That wraps up my top 25 Dynasty Catcher rankings. Hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you next time.